Yeah, look, I think probably it's a first game, so you never really kind of know what you're going to get. Training can be as good or as bad as you want, but you don't really know how the players are going to react. So I thought they were excellent over the whole 80 minutes. I think it's probably most pleased around those young players. We've a very young squad this year, sprinkled with a little bit of experience, and I think those experienced girls really helped and brought those young players on. So, when you look at what finished in the game, we had. Chloe's probably and Steph are probably the two anomalies around ages, and everybody else was in that 19, 20, 21 bracket, which is pretty class and means that we're building really, really good for the future. So, yeah, look, I just think overall it was really good in terms of the scoreline. I think we put Connacht under a lot of pressure, which I was really, really pleased about. We didn't really let them into the game at all, and for our only home game this tournament, I thought, we took the opportunity really well. Yeah, look, I think they were excellent along with everybody else. I think, obviously we know that Chisholm's got some unbelievable firepower. She's trained really, really well this summer. She got a sevens cap in the Euros in June. I think that gave her a lot of confidence. And yeah, look, I think Katrina's had a really big year, someone coming out of under 18s into senior rugby for the first time. She's got experience with the national team in terms of training. Then obviously had a really good tournament with the Irish 20s over the summer. So just come into a nice bit of confidence. But look, you know as well as I do, they're all cogs in a wheel in terms of we get the ball to space because of the inside work that's done by the forwards. And I think having the likes of Abby and Steph, Alana in and around Katrina really helps her. I think, we forget that she's this young player. We've known her since she's about 14 or 15 years of age. And the fact that she's just turned 19, we can forget that sometimes and be a little bit impatient around where she is. But I thought she was excellent. And yeah, look, we're just really pleased with how they managed the game as a group. Yeah, look, Leinster are an excellent side. They've won the last two Interpros, and they play a really, really good brand of rugby. I thought from last year to this year, they have a lot of continuity around their players. I think they've also got a lot of young players coming through as well that have been really good. They play a very exciting brand of rugby where they look to play on top and are really comfortable in that kind of chaos unstructured play. But for us, I think we've just got to continue to improve. Definitely areas that we want to get after from a defensive set piece or set point, sorry, and then some connections and stuff around our attack shape. But I think for us, it's just around how we set up, how we, how our mindset is come Saturday. It's an away game. It offers a different challenge, especially for that younger group. And I think, we've just got to keep building, keep looking after ourselves. 4 weeks on the bounce is a lot, and it's tough going. So we've just got to make sure that we continue to probably just focus on ourselves and how we're getting better every week we get to play. We haven't really spoken about that, to be honest. I think, when we sat down and talked around where we wanted to be at the end, we wanted to be in a final. We wanted to be able to compete, to be able to win. And I think nothing changes from that point irrelevant to who we're playing. And I think there are some, I think given the way the tournament's run this year, obviously the girls have gone to the World Cup and it's a real big opportunity for younger players to come into squads now across the board. I know Connacht will be really disappointed with how they played, but they have some exceptional young talent. I was really impressed with how Ulster played, and they've got some really, really good young players coming through as well. Same for Leinster. So it probably just puts everybody on an even keel this year. So it's really about how we focus on ourselves and probably how we want to get after certain elements of the game and our own objectives as opposed to the opposition. And to be fair, I'd imagine every team is probably similar to that. So I just think that this Interpros is really exciting, which provides a really good opportunity for these younger players to be able to bridge the gap into a senior Interpro level, and probably shows them and it shows us that, the structures that we've got here in our province and what the others have as well is that they're working. And we've finally got these pathways in place now that allow a genuine opportunity for players to be able to come into these types of squads and continue to push further. Yeah, it's brilliant. I think before the game, when we spoke about having 7 new caps, I was sure there was 2 or 3 of them that had already been capped only because we feel like that they've been around for a while, and then you look at their ages and they're only 19 or 20. It's pretty scary, but yeah, look, it was brilliant. It was really exciting for them and for their families. And look, it's been brilliant. A chunk of them are with the 20s and with the 18s and stuff, and their ability to push on now to play in senior rugby. I think that's probably going to be the big, um, you know, the big thing around where we're going with these young group of players. We've got to make sure that we're providing them with enough competition at club level, and to make sure that they're continuing to get better every year, so that we can continue to push them on to the next level. But yeah, I was so proud of all of them. Really, really was. And yeah, look, they were brilliant.